Alright, I just have to throw this out there. Jerry Seinfeld is in a strip club making it rain hundreds on strippers in this movie. How much more awesome can it get? Okay, so top 5. Top 5 is a movie written, directed, and stars Chris Rock. Yeah, he does it all in this film. He plays a man who was once the most successful comedian, but he has hit the point of his career where he just doesn't feel funny anymore. At the wake of his new movie premiering, he is forced to spend the day with a reporter played by Rosario Dawson. And the film critic she works for pans all of his films, and Chris Rock knows that, which makes him not want to be interviewed by her. But in this interview she's given him, Chris Rock opens up to her to the events that happened in his career that made him the person who he is today. And I was a little skeptical when it came to this film because I only saw one trailer and it wasn't that great. And it was labeled as a comedy. I didn't really laugh at it. However, this movie actually really surprised me because there's so much more to it than just the comedy. First, you have Chris Rock as the lead role, and I thought he was actually really funny. He sort of plays himself. You're watching it and he's hilarious, but you're also like, I feel Chris Rock is actually giving us a taste of what he feels in real life. You kind of feel sorry for him because people are always coming up to him and referring to him as this huge character he used to play. And he's like, guys, that's enough, just please go away. He dove us into the mind of an actor who's best known for a certain character and told us, do you really know that person as just the character? Take Mark Hamill for example. I guarantee a lot of fans come up to him and say, oh look, Luke Skywalker, or the Joker for you Batman fans. Maybe deep down Mark Hamill is sick of all this publicity and people don't know what he really has to offer. It's funny now because Mark Hamill is gonna get that a lot because he's returning as a character that made him famous in the first place. And you see other people interviewing Chris Rock about his movie, but they don't even ask questions about the movie, just about the character he used to play. In this case, Hammy the Bear, which is awesome by the way. You can tell he's not happy since Hammy the Bear is stuck on him, he doesn't know how to get out of it. Since Chris Rock wrote and directed this film, he does an excellent job on both those fields. You're listening to the performances taking place and you're like, who knew a comedian could write such clever and witty dialogue? Then again, he's a stand-up comedian in real life, so he's known for being witty. Take Rosario Dawson in this film. I thought she was fantastic in this movie. Seriously, the opening scene of this movie is her and Chris Rock going back and forth. It was quite a long scene and the dialogue, it was absolutely hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. The chemistry between them two is one of the highlights of this film and I gotta give major points to that. They're hilarious together and made me say that this movie is one of the funniest comedies this year. And this film had a great blend of comedy and drama to it because when it had to get serious, it knew when to do it. Because all of it, just like comedy, comes down to timing and when to do that, and Chris Rock perfected those moments. However, top 5 wasn't much of the perfect movie because of the supporting characters. They're only in there for like 10 minutes of the movie and you never see them again, like Kevin Hart for example. I think he's actually one of the funniest comedians out right now, but each scene he was in, he kills it. He totally overshadowed Chris Rock like no problem. Makes me wish I would see more Chris Rock and Kevin Hart together. And the ending to this movie just ends and you're like, oh, okay, the movie's over, I guess. That kind of sucks. So in the end, top 5 had a great blend of comedy and drama to it. Yeah, it's basically a dramedy. Chris Rock and Rosario Dawson were great together. They knew when to be funny and serious. Had some extremely clever dialogue to it, making it one of the funniest comedies this year. The other supporting characters felt forced and some I wish I would see more. And the ending to this movie was just so quick. I think if they would have done those things better, this movie would have gotten a legendary. No doubt about it. But I say top 5 is worth the full price in theaters because it is a silver screen gem. Have you guys seen top 5? What did you think about it? And why it's called top 5 is because of your top 5 favorite rappers of all time. What are your favorite rappers of all time? If you guys listen to rap, leave a comment below. And as always, you can keep in contact with me through Facebook and Twitter, but in the meantime, I have to get going. And be sure to check out Jerry Seinfeld making it rain on strippers. That's awesome.